NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association proudly present the 123rd U.S. Open Championship. It is a major championship being held here in America's second largest city, and I mean right in the middle of L.A., just about 12 miles from the skyline in downtown L.A., about 8 miles from beautiful Santa Monica Beach and the pier there. Look from high above Los Angeles Country Club. George C. Thomas, 1928, had the restoration in 2010 with Gil Hanse and Jim Wagner, Jeff Shackelford. Just a beautiful setting here. Short walk from Rodeo Drive, right up against Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills. 15th hole today, that par 3 where we've seen 3 aces already. Going to be interesting. They're going to put the flag up front. Could play as short as 80 yards, a par 3 at a major championship. So here we go. Third round underway. Terry Gannon in the booth along with Morgan Pressel and Peter Jacobson, Jim Gallagher Jr. and Aaron Oberholzer out on the golf course. Damon Hack to talk to some of the players, and Craig Winter from the USGA in case we have any questions with the rules. Back with the second at 5 for Rahm.
Now 125, just a sand wedge straight downwind, wind shifted. Tough hole location right there in that front Moeller Park. Right at it, but might have to get down.
Good for his ball flight. Puts a little spin on it. Rahm usually compresses the ball so beautifully. This was just a wedge. Take a look at that. The ball is a little bit back in his stance, which is going to promote hitting down on it a little bit more. Just an explosion.
Bunker, you could run it up there, but today a different story. Can't lay for birdie at 1. Good start for Patrick. And you're right, Peter. A lot of people, that was a name that came to mind earlier in the week.
I think he was on everybody's books. I think maybe 3rd or 4th favorite.
It's the first time in a while. Shane Lowry's had a long putt.
And this 4th green, as we saw in that highlight package with Phil and Tom Kim, there's a lot of long putts here on the 4th. All about controlling your speed on that green.
3-time major champ Audrey Harrington underway. This is his 3rd, so a bit wayward off the tee. Had to play to there. Oh, 240. Hang on now, though. That runs.
That's what we said. You fly it to the middle of the green or past, and that's where you end up.
So that settles in. That'll be his 4th when he gets up there. Time for Signature Moments presented by Rolex. Take you back to 1999, a classic U.S. Open at Pinehurst, and the late, great Payne Stewart. Everybody remembers this, that hard 18, and then the pose, which is now a statue at Pinehurst. Commemorate that moment. Phil Mickelson by 1, his 3rd major, 2nd U.S. Open title, and then remember Mickelson had the pager with him all week in case his wife Amy went into labor with her first child. Payne said to him, "There's nothing like being a father."
One of the most unique figures in the game, Payne Stewart. Hard to replace a guy like that. He lost him more than 20 years ago in that tragic accident. And every time we look at a U.S. Open or a PGA or majors, I can't help but think about Payne Stewart.
Yeah, I know. Large figure in the game. We're headed to Pinehurst next year. 2-putt for par at the last, and now on the tee at 6, Jon Rahm.
Yeah, trying to make up some ground quick here. Going to give himself the best chance. Looks like he's going to try to play it out to that right, like Jimmy G was talking about earlier in his course preview. Definitely lined up there with the 3-wood.
Yeah, if you go for it today, Aaron, that is the best place to miss on the right. Missing short and left is just has disaster written all over it. We saw Bryson DeChambeau really struggle.
This is on a really nice line, Morgan.
Right over the right side of that tree. Ton of club flew all the way into the back bunker. That's going to leave a really, really quick shot down towards that whole location. Everything running down across the green. And just a little bit flat there in his takeaway, as is his signature. Look at that bowed wrist. Still such a short backswing, but able to generate enough power. This went over the green with a hybrid only about 290 yards.
Hadwin laying up, playing it the other way.
Yeah, this is what I love about this hole, Terry, is that most, you can play it lots of different ways, but you're seeing both ways played almost equally this week. It's pretty cool.
And no data. You talk about the great short par fours, George C. Thomas, the 10th at Riviera. You've got loads of numbers to say it's better to play it this way. Coming into this week, you've got nothing. Just what you work on in the practice rounds. So the first page of that leaderboard, Min-Woo Lee, terrific round yesterday, a 65. One round in of 65 or better after 6 in the opening day as the crowds arrive here in Los Angeles for the third round of the 123rd U.S. Open.
The most spin possible with the full shot, Aaron.
And I think it gave him just a little bit better angle, if you believe that, as far as giving him a little bit more room to the right to play with. And this is really good looking.
Sit.
Just how severely sloped the left side of this hole is. Just what a great hole, this 6th hole.
That's a definition of risk reward, without a doubt.
Back to the opener in the 4th for Harrington.
Not a difficult pitch, back up the hill.
The flip side of trying to go at the hole and you say it runs away, if you can somehow hold the green, it's a better putt coming back.
Yeah, it is. It's so much better putting from the back of the green to the front. Oh my gosh.
Aaron, what's Rahm got now?
He's got nothing. He is plugged, or partially plugged, but enough to where he cannot get any spin on this ball.
This slope over here,
Where's he looking to go?
He's going backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his only play. And it's still quick.
Oh,
it's
my
still
gosh.
downhill.
Look at this.
Trying to use that slope to keep it somewhat on the green. Ideally want to get it close to the front edge to not have to negotiate with that shoulder that runs through the green. But this putt is going to be brutal upcoming.
It's like the Open Championship in a pot bunker and having to play backwards.
I hardly ever see it. The number of times a professional golfer has to force to play away from the hole. But that's a smart play, not being too aggressive, because if he would have gone for that hole location, he would have been on the other side in the fescue.
So his 3rd coming up. Up to the par 5/8. Saw where this green goes in that hole location from Jim earlier. Ryan Fox.
Not surprised with his length and power to see him have an opportunity here for eagle.
Yeah, he's a fun player to watch play. He's so strong. He pounds it off the tee.
So it's a birdie putt for Rahm, kind of. 96 feet away.
In name only.
So there have been 10 putts made of more than 50 feet, or at least 50 feet or beyond this week. 8 yesterday. That's the stat you want to see if you're Jon Rahm right now.
Oh, look at this.
Well,
look at this. He's got the wedge out. I think he's going to chip it off the fringe, Morgan.
I saw Sam Burns practicing this from off the green, actually, Aaron. It looks like he's on the fringe, practicing chipping to that back hole location. I was wondering if we'd see a wedge come out here. Gonna need to land this right about on the edge of the fringe on the very right side.
That's how much tilt there is from back to front on this green. Oh, that is really well done. That is brilliant.
Seve would be proud of that one.
Yes, he would.
313 yard par 4. Direct line is 299, and Rahm has got that left for par. It's a pretty good hole. All right, here we go again on the 6th tee. Tommy Fleetwood going over the trees.
This one's heading a little bit more left, closer to directly on line with the hole location. Oh, but he finds himself in the thick fescue. It will all be lie dependent there, Terry.
Good luck. That's some kind of. How about the par that John Rahm made? One of the most extraordinary pars you're ever going to see made.
Spectacular and really well disciplined.
Yeah. And
Took his medicine.
Short walk, just steps over to the tee. Par 3, 7th, and Rahm.
243 to the front. I'm not sure you need much more than that. Plus 5, maybe.
Might be the same club he just hit on the last tee box.
This one leaking to the right a little, Morgan.
A little off this time. Come on, a little off.
That'll be just fine.
Looking at the man who leads the PGA Tour in par 3 scoring, but plus 2 on the par 3 so far this week. All right, all the way back to the first. Abraham Answer getting things started. How about this first hole, Nick?
There aren't many gifts here, that's for sure. But if there is one, it could be this hole. He's done the hard bit. He's found the fairway, pitching it right around that front edge and just feeding down. Go on. Oh, that could be very nice. It's just so rapid once it gets on. That is delightful.
Wow, what a shot. 32-year-old represents Mexico, born in the U.S. and Texas, went to Oklahoma. Giving Pooch this at 4 for birdie. More birdie opportunities at the 4th today.
The greens are a bit softer this morning, Terry, than I anticipated. We've seen them land softly on 2, on 4, even on 5.
21-year-old from Spain went to Arizona State. Bogey start, but a bounce back here. Third hole, and Russell Henley will be first to play. There's that hole location tucked in today.
Yeah, virtually hanging off the edge of the green there. We know it's a tough green. It slopes quite severely, more so than any of the others from back to front. I think those softer conditions that you're talking about, it is the opportunity. This is your golden opportunity if you've got an earlier tee time. As much as it means you're not on the score you want to be, this is as easy as it's going to get. I think it's going to go to where we saw it yesterday afternoon and some with the added temperature.
That's a breeze there, too.
Cool, what a test it would be if that did pick up. If it got to sort of 12, 15 miles an hour, different prospect. Nicely under the hole.
10th time at the U.S. Open for Henley. Made it to the weekend 7 times, including this one. Cantlay now in the fairway at the 3rd.
There's only one place to finish here, and you need to be there, otherwise it means you're in trouble off the tee.
Yeah.
All roads lead to Rome. But from there, it's a test of the wedge play, and Patrick up to it.
Just hope to avoid all those divots there. Up to 6. Jim made his way up that hill right there where Tommy Fleetwood's golf ball is right now.
We just saw Tommy scratching his head. We saw John Rahm scratching his head. This hole, if you get out of position, certainly can be a head scratcher, all dependent on the lie. This tall fescue, over 5 inches long this week. The thing that's going to help him here is the upslope. As you can see, it's a very blind shot, but he's on an upslope, which will help him pop this ball up in the air and get it to stop on this green. Only 8 paces to work with from front to back.
Oh, gotta get up.
Didn't hit it hard enough. That was playing defensively against the back, going over the green. It's such a guessing game when you get in this tall fescue of how it is going to come out. And that was just a poor guess. You have to swing a little bit harder than you think. The grass is so thick. Plus the upslope plays 3 to 4 paces up the hill as well.
Now, Shane Lowry laid up, played to where he is now. His third coming up. So far, the evidence would suggest, today at least, the way it's playing, layup might be the better option here. But it's not in their DNA, is it?
It's except for Shane here, laid up and then misses the green on the second. There's only 8 paces of green to work with if you do choose to lay up. You have to be so precise with your wedge. And this hole's proving to be a little bit more of the dicey challenge than the easiest hole in the golf course that it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Birdie putt, 7 Rom.
Yeah, speed's been a little scratchy to this point for John. This one coming up the hill and then actually diving down towards the hole. Big swing right to left.
Such a big improvement in this part of his game. One of the reasons he's captured 4 titles this season, inside the top 10 with the putter. Masters champ, not having his own way at the US Open though so far.
Tommy Fleetwood again.
And that came out really fluffy as well. Same thing. Just really tough to predict. I saw Scotty Scheffler hit about 100 shots from that area in practice, just getting all sorts of different types of lies.
And Lee for birdie at 3.
This is a simple hole. It tells you what to do on it. That 6th hole, I feel like I know less how to play it now after watching all the players play it.
You're right. Rom for par at 7.
A test of patience for John Rahm this. We saw he was pretty irked when he came off the course yesterday. But he's a fighter. He will get the most out of this week.
What a shot in here at the opener for Abraham Answer. This for eagle.
This is a Thomas style as well. He likes to give him an easy opener and then a tough second. That's what happens here. And you know what, in a US Open, as you well know, Morgan, getting under par early, it's a nice place to be. Gives you a little bit of buffer and comfort easing into the day.
Gives you some breathing room. Feels like you can breathe.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to be a tough test the rest of the way around.
Good look at the break here. Perfectly done. A lot of birdies at 3. So 2 under on the day. Lowry on the way for par at 6. He's going to see great pars at 6 all day, I think. Yeah, it was hard work.
It's supposed to be hard work. It's a U.S. Open.
I know. Tommy Fleetwood trying to do the same now. Yeah, normally after you play 3-4 practice rounds, maybe a couple of rounds so far, it's the weekend, you've figured out how to play a hole.
Yeah.
Not so much this one.
No, I mean, one of the things I'd say that I've learned, well, not learned so much, I knew, but it's really come to fruition this week is, as small as that target is with a wedge, these guys spend hours upon hours with their devices, whichever one they use, dialing in their numbers, and we've seen very few actually miss this tiny target. And you know what? Lean on what you're brilliant at. And most of these guys, there's not many bad wedge players on the top level tours these days. Whereas the risk of taking this on off the tee, there is a 6 waiting in a heartbeat, and you don't even have to hit a bad shot.
We haven't seen quite as many 6s as we anticipated coming into this week. Players playing smart. That's what I love about what John Rahm did, was he took his medicine. He was patient. He took his medicine. Yes, he made a wonderful putt for par, but he didn't compound his errors, which is what we saw Bryson DeChambeau do yesterday on this hole. And Tommy here compounding his errors as well.
We've got a lot of love for Tommy Fleetwood back in the UK and Ireland from the way he plays the game. But also as well, I think there's this feeling of the United States doesn't fully appreciate the player that this guy is. He's had a couple of runners-up in major championships, but yeah, he has yet to win on the PGA Tour, decorated across the DP World Tour, and a former #1 on there. think his time will come though.
Runner-up finish at the U.S. Open. Good par there.
Looked like it was potentially going to happen last week
Yeah,
in
it did.
Canada. That was quite the battle.
All right, tee shot at the par 5 8th. There's the target for Rahm.
Yeah, I like the 3-wood play here for John Terry. Don't want to get it too far down there. You actually could get blocked out by the trees through the fairway.
As this course firms up, we're going to see more players club back off the tee, less drivers. Just running out so much more than it was the first couple of days.
Kind of like the third, but the opposite direction. That tee shot reached all the way down to that area. Well, there they go, setting up the hole at 15. It's going to be 81 yards, that par 3 today. Jim Gallagher Jr. is going to give us a preview of that short par 3, where we've had 3 aces already this week.